Listen, with all the back and forth at this point of who said what and who's lying and who's not, and oh, it might be this one, but we thought it was that one. Listen, I might need some therapy myself. Okay? I really do because I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? I don't need my wheels spinning this much when I'm trying to be entertained. Too much thinking on the brain. Okay. Furthermore, maybe I need some therapy anyway. We always could benefit from therapy, you know, however you slice it, because it's just good for you. But I'm like, because the way my zero F's about Tamara's emotions still exist, and it's now episode 7, and I'm still like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? I was sitting there as she's talking and crying and no one cares about me. And I'm like, yo, do I still have that Haagen Dazs Belgian chocolate chip ice cream in the freezer? I think I got a little bit left. Okay. Cause I'm over her. It's still. Then I'm like, maybe it's okay. Maybe I could be pacifying my own self in this moment because I'm like, it's Tamra. But you already know we're going to get into the things of the things. What is going on, y'all? It's your girl, Taina B here. Welcome to my chat party. If you're joining me for a little bit, a lot of it, fashionably early, fashionably late to the party, I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart to hear my little thoughts, my little views, my little opinions on the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode number 7. When I tell you, I saw that the guest list went up, but I'm still sucking at finding out exactly who subscribes when because at first I'm like, oh, I think I know what to do. And then I'm like, no, this name is mixed in from last week. So this can't be a new subscriber. So y'all, I promise y'all, I really don't like that I'm missing whoever's subscribing. I'm gonna figure it out somehow. So please forgive me. Please have patience with me. I appreciate you all so much. If you hit it, just know that the subscribe button, join the VIP guest list. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who did a two-step on the dance floor, much appreciated. Who came by just to view the party, like, oh, let me see what y'all doing in there. Maybe I might be back. I don't know. Come on back. You know what I'm saying? Come on back. I'm not mad at you, but I even appreciate your viewership. So I most certainly want to give just my quick little shout out for who and what I was able to catch at the end of my video. Why? Because A, y'all are like, go ahead and get to the point, sis. I ain't come here for all of that. And then B, I always love to save the best for last. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the things. So we start off with the ladies chatting at dinner, still about Tamara leaving that night. And of all the things said, I totally agreed. Gina made the point that even with Tamara going to therapy and ripping the band aid off, you still can't be a DCK, to people. And I'm like, big facts, huge facts. Only problem is, or only thing I'll add to this, I'll say, is that Tamara's been being a D, okay, since the beginning. Okay. The only thing that's changed is the circumstance. That's the problem. I feel like it's always something with her. We can't catch a break from her not being that. So we have the next morning, Jennifer wakes up in her hotel room next to her voodoo doll named Jennifer. And I'm like, okay, I thought that when you have those kind of dolls, like, aren't you supposed to name them after other people that you don't fool with? Like, how are you naming them after you? Like, you want bad things to happen to you. But again, I don't understand that world, don't need to understand it. So I'll just leave it at that. And she says in her confessional that although she didn't do anything to the doll, it still feels much lighter with Tamara gone. So I'm like, well, shoot, if that's the case with just having the doll present, then get you about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more of them things. It'll keep her away permanently, which we know it absolutely will not. Obviously, she'll be coming back, but I'm just saying. And so we have some of the ladies, a couple of the ladies who end up calling, their men to fill them in. Gretchen being one, and I love how not only was she getting that Slade for that little mustache, but Slade was saying to her how Tamara left because all her lies are finally catching up to her, right? And it seemed that way to me too in that moment, Slade. But by the end of the episode, I'm like, well, who's lying? I mean, but is it? I mean, I can't. Now, the fact remains, will she always be a liar in my opinion? And just throw allegedly in there? She will, because that's what she does. But I'm like, things are a little convoluted at this point. But anyway, so now we have Shannon, who had me in stitches because she's in her confessional and she brings up Bali. and that just wonderful footage that we're shown, and how we could just the memories remember how Tamara ran off. It was like, you'll never see me again. Right? Crazy. I'm like, who does like who even does that? Who runs off? Like, what are you running from? Nobody was chasing you. Like, that was that's like in the Housewives history, books of history, and not for good reasons. I think that is like one of the craziest ways, because I'm like, you're running for what, girl? You could have done a nice sachet, or you know what I'm saying, a little two step yourself, but running, what are you run? Probably running from herself. But it was the part for me when Shannon said so calmly and so candidly, and we saw her right after. I love that. I just love the timing. It was funny. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. I was here for it. I also appreciate how Shannon's still keeping her boundaries with Tamra, because she mentioned in the car ride that night prior with the ladies how Tamra had kind of hit her up. I guess she texted her like, "Oh, I'm leaving. Come up to my room." And I want to say Shannon said she didn't go up to her room, because it's like, again, this ain't that. What you think used to be still existing, it doesn't. We have levels and limits to this now, and I love that. And I think in real life that's how things should be with people, right? Unless there really is a line you just do not want to cross back over, because there is a point of no return. And to me, I feel like Tamara is that with Shannon, but Shannon doesn't feel that strongly, I guess. But I still can appreciate that her eyes are open to an extent where she was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, for what? And she already knows what it's going to be, right? Tamara is going to cry a river till the cows come home. And then I personally wouldn't trust it anyway, because I feel like anytime someone ends up with Tamara alone or texting with her, Tamara likes to get real creative. And then somehow that person who she's communicating with ends up in the hot seat. No thanks. No thanks whatsoever. And we've seen that throughout the seasons too, right? From text messages that Tamara has put Shannon on blast for, to, I want to say, was it even last season, when they were overseas or wherever they were, and that last lunch that they had, Tamara's getting at Shannon and saying, well, that's not what you told me. And Shannon's like, you're a liar. You're a liar. And I'm like, yeah, see, we ain't got the time for it. If I ain't got no cameras around and I ain't got no other type of proof, I ain't fooling with you, Tamara. So goodbye on every level. Anywho's, so Shannon and Emily are briefly talking. Just this quick moment, I wanted to bring up how 1111 appears on Shannon's phone, and she needs a moment. She has to pause from everything to manifest, because it's like, it's crazy. I see 1111 a lot. I still don't fully understand it. I've read up on it a little bit, but I'm like, okay, so do these things that are supposed to be so good happen like eventually? Because what's going on, I'm still not seeing it yet. But I, you know what I mean, the good things manifest. But I'm definitely peeping the 1111 a lot. You guys will have to let me know if you know anything about that, or just synchronized in numbers in general. I've seen like 555 a lot. I used to see 222, but it was really 555 and like either 1111 or 111 or something like that. Anyway, so the ladies are riding in separate cars, all making valid points about Tamara. This is, I want to say that same day, because they're getting ready to do a little excursion. And now Heather's in the car all mad because Tamara left, and she thinks that's selfish. And she's like, and I've been sticking up for her this whole time, right? And I'm like, not you, Heather, making it about you when it's supposed to be about your friend that you're supporting. Like, what are you saying? But this is what Heather likes to do, right? Eventually, we know that's going to rear its head. It's par for the course for her. And so Gina drops a bombshell in this moment that apparently Kiki Monique, who we know again is this influencer, had spoken to a journalist that Gina called, and who also confirmed, the journalist that is, that Katie was lying and that Tamara was telling the truth. And even in this moment, y'all, I'm like, listen, I have no problem admitting to being wrong, but I ain't admitting that just so quickly. Okay. And I know things have switched even at the end, and maybe Tamara still would be telling the truth, but I'm like, yo, again, this is Tamara. I'd rather just wait on the lie detector test or something else. Like, you know how you just are like, yeah, I'm not budging off of that. I hear you and what you're saying. I hear you talking. But right now, I'm sticking with, and even, okay, and let's just say Tamara even is telling the truth in this situation, and I'm going to admit it, okay, and I'm going to say I'm wrong when that happens, if that happens, but I'm still gonna be like, at the end of the day, she's still a liar. allegedly, and in my opinion. Okay, so moving right along. I mean, what does that change? That she told the truth in this instance out of 50,000 others? That changes her character because she told the truth in one moment. Anyway, so before that, like I said, I'll just wait for the lie detector test. So in other words, y'all give me a little bit more time with this, okay? Anyway, so the ladies arrive at their excursion, which is I forget the exact terminology for it, but they're gonna be riding kind of like in a little boat to do a little alligator excursion, alligator, what you call it, watch, kind of, whatever, alligator spotting. I don't know the correct term, you guys, but anyways, or I can't recall. So Shannon arrives late, apparently, and she had a meltdown on the phone with Gina, which I didn't understand in that moment. I'm like, Shannon, again, here you go, doing a lot, Shannon. Don't make me come for you in a negative way. I'm trying to hold on to my likes for you, but you getting on my nerves. Okay. Because I'm like, girl, you're crying for what? What has happened? But then she did explain, that she tends to have meltdowns ever since she's had her DUI. So I guess post traumatic triggers, whatever, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give you that then. But then it's like once she arrives late, like I said, now you have Gina who starts having this meltdown. And I'm like, okay, Gina, I understand your frustration because you're saying, listen, this is a thing, right? This is a habit with you. You're always late. I understand expressing that, but the way you were expressing it, and then you're mixing that you have high anxiety because of it, girl, you're doing too much. Okay. That's stressing you out. Then you let the wrong things in life stress you out. All right. And I should be the one to talk, but I'm just saying I'm learning at least, and I'm trying to apply and not apply stress to certain things until I completely get stress free with everything. But I'm just like, maybe you guys can help me on the dance floor with that. Like, maybe you really understand why Gina went into high gear in that moment, but I honestly did not. And I'm so serious. And so the ladies, now we fast forward, are out again for dinner. Gina shares to the table amongst everyone that she spoke with the journalists for clarity. And I'm like, girl, but why? Because what does this have to do with you? You spoke to the journalist for clarity. Nobody ain't bring your name up for any reason or anything. You ain't got no dog in this fight, but you wanted to call the journalist. But I said, okay, you want to bring us some TV, so be it. We'll roll with it. And Gina said it's a credible journalist. But Katie said she didn't say what the journalist is saying. So we still have Katie adamantly and just so collectively and calmly just denying that I didn't say it. That could be taken different ways, right? People could say, oh, well, she just knows how to play it, right? Play it cool. I still think she's a liar. At the end of the day, like I said before, we know Katie's not 100% innocent when it comes to things, but I still will respect the fact that there's still things that she's taking accountability for. Now, I hope it will continue to extend to the things that she's done wrong, and I want to believe her in this. We'll definitely have to see, right? Especially with what she's saying towards the end, which we'll get to. And so, to Gretchen's point with that, she says, so then why didn't the journalist just reach out to me directly? I mean, she is the source after all, right? And I'm like, you're right. And so Gina at this point gets like a little parsnippity with Gretchen, like, oh, okay, well, well, fine. If you don't want to know this about you, and I'm like, Gina, you need to calm down. Like, you just chill, sip your drink, and just watch the show. Like, what are you doing? Right? She's like, now it's making me think that maybe, you said it or something, she said. And I'm like, okay. And so Gretchen still, just even before that, was like, and at the end of the day, if it's all lies, then why are we really doing this? So Jen turns to Katie and asks her, kind of sidebar convo that they're having to themselves, like why she just won't reach out to Kiki Monique to clear her name. And I understood Jen's point, but even mixed in that, I understood Gretchen's more because it's just easy. And yeah, you always want to have backings to things and confirmation and evidence, right? But it's easy to believe with someone like, okay, maybe Katie's not the best example, but I'm gonna still go with Katie compared to Tamra, okay? Because we gotta go with it. It's easy to believe someone like Katie compared to Tamra. Like Gretchen said, listen, Tamara has been lying and doing everything to everyone at this table, like she said before. So she was like, why wouldn't I believe someone who has not hurt me? And that's just basic common sense level type stuff, right? So it's easy to go with the fact that if Katie said she didn't do it, then most likely, she didn't. And we see Tamara has a history of these things. So I got what um Gretchen was saying, but then also I felt like we saw a clip to Jen's point of why won't you reach out? I'm like, didn't Katie tell y'all she did reach out and the lady didn't answer? How many times I got to chase behind somebody too? Just because I'm not chasing behind someone doesn't mean that I'm guilty. But then you have people on the other side of that who will be like, nah, I'm gonna chase you down because this is my integrity at stake. And I get that too. Integrity is a big thing for me also. But like Katie said, and she could be right, she could be wrong. Listen, I can even speak to the lady, and the lady's just going to cover herself, and she's going to say that I'm the one who's lying, right? Because we know how funny style things could go sometimes. So I was just like, yeah, y'all can't go off of this, journalist. And then I'm like, who's to say that this dude wasn't paid? To get involved, whether he's credible or not. So what? I'm not moved by the fact that you call him a credible journalist. People do everything for a dollar. What they say, they do a strange thing for strange things. What do they say? They got kind of strange for a piece of change or something. I just need more proof and I need more time. I'll say that. And so even at this point, things definitely get more hairy because we have like two totally different contradicting stories. You have Gretchen, who's kind of contradicting herself in one regard because I think she's making it seem like she didn't go to the hospital and she wished she would have, but then she's telling others that she went to the hospital. Then you have Katie with her version, like, well, Gretchen told her that she went to the hospital and that, because she was really sick. And the toxicology report from the hospital the next day showed that she had some mess in her system after she left Tamra's situation. So I'm like, yeah, it's way too much happening for me. And Katie, um, is this the point where they talk? Because I know Katie was talking to her husband at one point. Okay, maybe it wasn't this. I might be jumping the gun ahead. So I just feel like even from that point, it was starting to get super confusing. And it's exhausting when you're sitting amongst a bunch of liars and you have to figure out who's lying because somebody ain't telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like when it has to rattle your brain like that, it's like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, at the same time, to Gretchen's point, like, you know what? I can never eat when I'm with you guys because I'm always upset. And that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, yo, I would never go out to dinner with them or to lunch or to whatever because I'm too much of a foodie to sacrifice my food for the BS. Or I'll do you one better. No, I wouldn't. While y'all over down there arguing, I'm just be over here nibble on my food. I'll be listening. I know how to eat and talk at the same time. All right. But, anyways, I would make it work. So the ladies are back in town, back home. Tamara's at a therapy session, as I mentioned to you guys. And it's interesting to me how people will always start a story, or most people start a story not from the beginning. Like, I felt like she hopped all the way to the end of the story. It's like, no, girl, start from the beginning. And then also make sure you include yourself and your role in it too, not just what everyone else did. And she's saying how Jen and Gina were yelling at her. And I was like, where? Because I ain't hear it. They were not yelling at you. Certainly were not. They were calling out your mess like they should have been, and they weren't pacifying you like you wanted them to. That's where the problem lied. And I said, if we really want to talk about yelling, we can roll back the footage of what yelling is by way of you being the perfect example because we got tons of those, sweetheart. Okay, if you want to talk about yelling, we'll show you what yelling is. I mean, it's still in my mind. It popped in my mind. Just even her throwing that napkin. Oh God! Oh, guys, I need a minute. Oh gosh, I need a minute. Oh, I need a minute. Like when I tell you, I kid you not, something just came over me. I get so hot when I think about it. When she threw that cloth napkin in Jen's face. Whew. Okay. All right. So let me just, yeah. So I've said that to say, Tamara, don't do it because you've been on a whole lot of crazy. I mean, we have just for days and days and days and years and days and months and hours worth of footage of you acting a certain way. Okay. Anywho, so she tells the therapist or admits that she took half of a Xanax because apparently before she went out to dinner, she tried to call Teddy, who we know is her best friend that's really ill right now with cancer, and Teddy didn't answer. All right. and cool. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. But how you get the alcohol up in there? Like, who told you then that you should have been mixing alcohol? And that's the night that you shouldn't have had any drinks. Let the Xanax do what it does. Have you some water, nice sparkling water, or get you a nice mocktail of some sort. Like, alcohol for what? So I still blame you for that because you know that was a bad combination. And I'm not saying either at the end of the day that what Tamra is dealing with isn't hard, and even hearing some of her past traumas, which we knew about some of them for sure, and maybe even some things growing up as a child that we didn't, right? Even I think her son did. I know she had didn't she have her son young, and I feel like maybe she was a single parent too. I don't know. And if that was the case, I know that's even difficult, right? All understandably tough things, right? While we get that and understand that those experiences can turn you cold and cause you to be evil like she has been and she is, that doesn't make it acceptable. Okay? Absolutely never makes it acceptable, is my point of it all. So it's like, girl, I don't know what or why there's parts of your brain that's fogged on how you've gotten down these past years and your behaviors, but you can't undo what's already been done. And as I like to always say, it's going to come back to you. And maybe this is a time where you're feeling it because some of that is coming back to you in some way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, it just might be the beginning. You've done way too much harm and damage and all this stuff. There's never any justification or excuse for how vile, absolutely vile you have been to other people. You have folks out here calling you Tamrat. You have folks out here calling you Captain Evil, okay? You have folks out here saying you are the worst thing in Housewives history. Girl, that's saying something. So, as far as I'm concerned, when you do show, however, that you are legit putting one foot in front of the other to do better, even if you're only improving by a little bit, that makes all the difference in the world, right? That makes all the difference in the world. Maybe people would care about you, Tamara, like you saying, no one cares about me in this moment if you didn't move the way that you did with them. And that's it. They would care about you a whole lot more. People aren't checking for you because of how you made them feel. And not even just on one occasion. We're talking about multiple times. You guys know, I'm not telling you what you don't. I'm just reminding you multiple times this lady has done stuff. It's never been a one and done. It's never been a couple of times sprinkle here and there. Multiple times. It's like she lives. She wakes up in the morning to do these things. Like it excites her. It's really sad. And you've burnt so many bridges. So now you expect people to in turn to be there for you. Girl, get a whole entire grip. Okay? We'll move on. I still don't think she gets it. And I feel like she's only trying to show a fluffier side, even with the ladies, because she's in need. She needs someone right now. She needs someone. And even with that, I'm like, I still feel like even in these moments, while I don't want to minimize her feelings for her friend, I definitely think she cares. I definitely think it's bothering her. But I'm like, in some regard, I still feel like she's kind of making it about her a little bit too. Oh well, I this and I that, and oh gosh, I'm hurting and no one's here for me. It's okay, I'm crying. It's okay. It's okay. Like, girl, get a grip. Then go somewhere again, like I said, and silently focus on yourself. Stop coming back to this platform. Remove yourself and go deal with what you need to deal with. But we know that's not gonna happen. Like I said before, because you love the cameras too much. But moving right along, speaking as a matter of fact to catering, one of your needs to be catered. I'm gonna fast forward right quick to this whole dessert situation with Tamra and Heather meeting, because I'm like, here we go. Now again, Heather trying to make it about herself, which to some degrees I will still say I understood what she was saying too. But it's like, girl, you you can't, like, it's more to life than just you. When people are going through, they're not going to move how you want them to move at the end of the day. They have to do what works best for them, right? People deal with things in different ways and you can't always take it so personally. And I feel like, Heather, these are the moments where you can't take it personally. Even though Tamara is making it about herself in some regard, she still is going through. We are going to give her that. So how do you then turn around and then be like, well, what about me? I've been supporting you. I'm like, no, 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 not right now, not right now. Let's save this for another time, but not right now. I ask you, I beg of you. Anyways, so I just thought that was a whole mess with, again, Tamara just making it about herself in that moment. And then Heather was like, no, let me one up and show you I can do you one even better. It's about me. crazy. Whatever. That thing works for them. They ended up on a happy note, laughing and joking about how good the waiter looked. And I'm just sitting in that moment because even in therapy, didn't Tamara say that she had pushed Eddie or something, or Eddie had to hold her down? I said, like, somebody go check on Eddie. Where somebody send the SOS for Eddie, smoke signal, something. We be forgetting about Eddie. And I know, can you imagine? Listen, we're only getting a little bit of camera time. Can you imagine being in the four walls continuously with this late? Somebody go check on Eddie. Let's move on. So we're going to rewind back to the scene with Emily and Shane. Keep that light. I understood. I'll say where they both were coming from. Again, it just very much must be the Libra in me. I always feel like I'm a two-sided coin. I tell people that all the time because it's like, yeah, sometimes my preference is more for one side of things, but I can, for the most part, always get where both sides are coming from. I guess it depends on the situation. But, anyways, so I understood both of them. I understood Shade a little more though. I will say my scale tipped a little more to Shane because it's like, hey, Emily, it's Shane. All right. Like you're coming at him with what he should be doing. I'm like, you knew who and what you were marrying before you knew Shane was something else. Okay. And then I'm like, B, just because he deals with his emotions much differently doesn't mean he doesn't care. And that's exactly pretty much what he was expressing. And I understand how he's dealing with it. It makes sense. It doesn't give to me that he doesn't care. It's just he chooses to deal with it as in a way that might be his coping mechanism for dealing with it, or cope did I say that right? Coping mechanism, you know what I mean? And I was waiting him though for him after a while to console her. I'm like, Shane, get up, okay? And she's over here like she's actually like slobbering on the countertop, even like it's bad. Go give her a hug. I mean, go. And so he did, which I was proud. But that lasted all of what, a millisecond, because as soon as she's like, you don't understand. He's like, all right, fine, I don't understand. I'm like, no, Shane, you were supposed to stay there and still be like, babe, I understand, but you need to come, I can't. Shane is a mess, but Shane, I see you. Okay. I see you. And I don't think that he's wrong, but it's probably just a more emotional side of Emily as a mom too, right? Because sometimes we we want certain things from our husband and we don't want to have to say it, So I get that too. But let him deal with it how he's dealing with it. And I think that's she might have said it too impliedly. They don't know how to navigate this. And that makes sense. It's uncharted territory. So they're gonna have to figure it out somehow. But I think they'll be okay. And so now Katie's at her house. She's talking to her husband about the sitch and I'm like, this is again where it's too confusing for me. But sidebar, even before we get into that, sidebar really quickly, because Katie, I said, now you ought not to be talking or speaking grown folks' business in front of that little son of yours, because he be listening. He done got you in trouble before. I feel like did they show footage of him at the last reunion? Like they rolled back some footage when he was speaking something crazy on one of the ladies. It can't come to me quick enough, but I definitely remember it was something like he got a little smart mouth or whatever, like he's grown in that moment. And I said, you could even see right in that moment his wheels were spinning. Like he was looking like, and he was attentive. Cause I think it was the comment she had made about while they were making the drinks, her and her husband. Well, apparently Tamra likes our drinks. Cause remember, Tamra was like kind of, they showed a flashback of her kind of spilling the drinks at the uh dinner they had at their house or whatever the last season. Anyways, it was just funny. I could just tell he was thinking. I'm like, little boy, don't you say it. I don't know what you thinking, but don't you say it because the cameras are right here and they're gonna roll this back at the reunion. Then your mom gonna be having to defend herself again. So save your mom. Don't say it. Anyways, but just having a conversation with her husband. Um, she just long story short, will wrap this up because the husband's like, I can't understand, in other words, why they're coming for you. But we know too, they don't see it for Katie. Because they don't want her there. This could all be a scheme that Todd set up, as Mama Joyce from Atlanta like to say. It's giving very much so weird. And like I said, more so even now when we have Katie admitting in her confessional to the producer that this is all a cover up on Gretchen's behalf. Like Gretchen knows what's really going on. Jed knows what's really going on. At the end of the day, Gretchen is the one who's not being truthful. I'm like, now how we get Gretchen and it's not being truthful? See, I cannot, my mind, I cannot. All right. Y'all have to let me know, what do you think at this point? Because when I tell you I can't even almost formulate it, I need to watch a little bit more. It's getting too blurred for me. The lines are definitely blurred. The waters are muddied. I'm like, so now Gretchen, now what would be Gretchen's point in that, right? Okay, you want to make Tamara look crazy, maybe get Tamara in trouble in some regard, but Katie had to be inserted and on the chopping block, and you're not even almost trying. Well, maybe that's Gretchen's way of almost trying to save her by, constantly telling the ladies, well, I believe Katie, I'm not, maybe that's it. But it's like your friend is drowning. And yeah. And furthermore, though, too, I'm like, but hold on, Katie, hold on, because you ain't off the hook so quickly. As a grown woman, why would you sit up here and be defending Gretchen's lie to your own detriment? Like the ladies are coming for you and your neck and keeping their foot on your neck and everything else. And you're okay with that to defend Gretchen? Gretchen's not even your child. Like, I feel like you would go hard for somebody like that, that's your child, or maybe even your significant other, but somebody who you probably just met not too long ago to try to establish something because y'all are going to be recording together, or even if you know them for a while, certain things are just like, yeah, we ain't doing that. So what is this about, you guys? That's why I can't wait as they show us the previews with that lie detector test. I was like, and even with Katie getting sick during, I didn't feel no ways about it. I'm like, yeah, because it's a lot. That doesn't mean that again she's necessarily lying. So we'll definitely have to see, y'all. It's just it gave me a little headache. You'll have to let me know what y'all think. But anyway, so we also have Gina, no, not Gina, I'm sorry, Emily, Gretchen, and Jen, who go out to a bar, and they're showing kind of simultaneously them talking about the situation as well. And we have Gretchen just still kind of sitting here denying it. Like, I don't, in other words, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what all of this is about. So I don't again trust even moving forward the whole when we see the previews for the next episode, Kiki Moni coming to speak, because I'm like, again, what is that supposed, do we have to act like some of these people might not get paid sometimes behind the scenes to say something else that's, you know what I mean, to help somebody else save face? So like I said, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of loose ends to tighten up. But at this point, y'all, the music is on, the dance floor is lit. Don't be a prude and hold up the wall. You have got to let me know what you guys are thinking, because sis over here, like my brain is like, ouch, 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 ouch. Who is lying? Okay, who is the one who's not telling the truth? And is Tamara still somehow, some way, shape, or form mixed up at the core of this all? I can still always find a way for her to be part of this, because I'm like, at the end of the day, this stuff still went down at your house regardless. We still saw the rollback footage of you making a comment or whatever, doing whatever you did for old girl to feel a certain way. But we're not even going to talk about that, right? And the criminality allegedly that can be involved with all of that. I'm gonna leave that right there. We're just gonna focus on the fact that, oh, Gretchen was talking about her own self and said, anyways, y'all have to let me know, okay, please. In the meantime, in between time, definitely want to shout out my new party people, because y'all are the best. Thank you so much for deciding to rock with me. And I hope you will continue to do so. So, Aussie Girl 86, hey girl. Charlena Sandor, I see you. And Angry Dragon 1986, love that name. Hey girl, hey, okay. And for those of you who hit the dance floor as well, which also is Charlena and Angry Dragon, in addition to Courtney Gibson 195. You wasn't afraid to do your two-step. Love it. My girl, as always, Paprika ASMR. You know it's always all love. I appreciate her so much, y'all. She has definitely been rocking and rolling with me and supporting from the begin. Okay. And then also we had user JUBP7TX. Hello there. How are you? So thank you guys so much. I'm just looking forward to just growing and expanding even more and getting more savvy with learning when I got my new people aboard and separating the newer names from the older names. Y'all, just thank you for your patience and your grace. All right. I hope that this video found you all well and in good spirits. If not, I hope I said a little something to put a little smile on your face and make you feel a little better about your day. I may not know every single new subscriber, but I know it's 356 of y'all. I tell you that. And I am hugging all 356 of you, showing y'all some social love to just everybody in general. Thank you guys so much. All right. Y'all know I will be back next week to do it all over again. So until then, what are you supposed to do? Y'all stay up. Y'all be blessed. And I'm out. Peace.